BXB. It's in the game!
Hey guys, it's me Ben, back with another one of my quick reviews, and finally I'm able to review Friday the 13th, the game on Xbox One. And the reason for this delay is that basically the matchmaking hasn't worked on Xbox for the last 2 weeks, since launch, possibly longer, and I think the problem has also been quite prevalent on PS4, though not as bad. And because of that, that's meant I haven't really been able to look at this game. There was a workaround using looking for groups, but I felt that wasn't really fair to review the game using a workaround that didn't represent how most people were going to actually play it. As you see from the footage here, matchmaking is now a lot quicker. And Friday the 13th is a fairly simple game to explain. It's based on the famous movie franchises starring Jason Voorhees, the slasher killer, perhaps the original slasher killer, or at least the most famous. His supernatural ability to get up from the dead and come back for multiple films in the franchise and murder teens in various gruesome ways. And that's exactly what we're doing here in this game. You either play as Jason or you play as the counselors, so you either have to kill everyone or you have to survive or escape from various locations and maps from the films. Sadly not the film Jason X, possibly my favourite one, the crazy sci-fi slant. You have various counselors to pick from, you have various iterations of Jason to pick from as you level up through the game, but the basic mechanics are quite easy to understand, though there is depth to it once you really start to dig in. So as the counselors, you go around, you scavenge for weapons, you scavenge for various items to help you survive the 15 minutes of game time until the clock runs out, or to get to the police if you call them in, or to even in certain situations you can defeat Jason, though it's very hard to do. So basically what you're going to be doing is hiding, avoiding, running away, and mostly dying. And it's a lot of fun. Now that the game is working, it's really good fun. Now, I had an amazingly positive experience playing this game online. After not being able to play it for the longest period of time, I don't have a lot of friends who own the game, so that wasn't really an option playing it with a group of people I already knew. So I had to go into a public lobby with a group of people I'd never spoken to before on Xbox. This is a daunting prospect in 2017. It's not like the early days of Xbox where everybody talked and everybody got along and everybody was civil. Nowadays, more often than not, you're going to get an abusive little teenager screaming at you. I did not have that. I had a group of great guys, Americans and Canadians, who helped me through the early parts of the game, who helped me understand the mechanics, who I played with for several hours one night, actually, and have added as friends on Xbox Live. That is such a rare occurrence, I thought it was worth mentioning. That isn't really the strength of the game. I think it speaks to the game's sort of problems that this is happening, because not many of my friends have picked it up due to the technical problems, that now that I'm telling them the matchmaking is working, they might be picking up the title. The game also, on top of matchmaking, has very many problems. This game is full of jank. This game should have been in-game preview. It should not have had a full release, and it certainly shouldn't be the price point it is right now on Xbox with what is in this game and the problems it has technically. It's got so many graphical issues. It's got control issues, it's got interface issues, it's got issues up the wazoo, but to the developers' credit, they are patching it, they are supporting it, they are doing a lot to make things better. So let's talk about the gameplay a little bit. I've talked about the counselor, let's talk about Jason. Jason is obviously a strong, powerful stalker. It's all about menace. They've even incorporated elements of the films in the way that he can sort of teleport around the map unpredictably in places he shouldn't actually be in any logical sense. He can move from point A to B incredibly quickly and surprise you. He can do horrible power attacks, and he can take an incredible beating, and usually only ever gets stunned and knocked down. When you play as Jason, you have a real sense of power and ability, and as you get to know the few maps that are on offer, you can become a stalking, killing, murdering nightmare. So I do feel that, considering it goes up to 8 players, so you can have 7v1, it's a really compelling concept. However, if you don't have a full game of 7 counselors, you do feel a bit at a disadvantage. But also, when you're playing as Jason, if there aren't that many people on the map, it's actually a lot harder to find people. What I found when I was playing in these unfilled lobbies was that you stalk the exit points. One of the ways the councillors can get out of the map is to fix up various vehicles and escape that way. So if you see that one of the vehicles, say, had the battery placed into it, therefore the bonnet is down, you know that those players will be coming back. So I found myself jumping away and jumping back and coming back to their area and just waiting for them all to congregate and try and escape, and then murdering them all in horrible, horrible, gruesome ways. So I mentioned there's a leveling up system, and as you level up, you're going to get various perks for the councillors and abilities for Jason. You're also going to unlock different types of Jason. There's the mechanic where you can call in Tommy, which means if 2 or more councillors have died at that point, one will respawn as Tommy, who actually has the chance to kill Jason if certain prerequisites are in place, though it's definitely not easy. This is what I was talking about. The game is quite simple to grasp from the offset, but there is depth in there. There are things to work out and things you'll learn from playing with the community as I did and talking to other people that have been playing it longer, who've had better luck with matchmaking. I will say this game is one to keep an eye on. It's hard to recommend strongly right now due to the technical problems, and that is being ironed out. And because of that, my score will be quite low. But I will say as time progresses and the game is fixed up and patched up, it might become a higher recommendation. Because of that, I'm going to keep it in mind, and I might come back to look at Friday the 13th again in the future. But for right now, I'm going to give this 2 out of 5 stars.
BXB. It's in the game.